Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of the Scratch the Track podcast presented by the Dude and Grim Show and co-produced by Mr. IVEST. I am the Dude.
And I am Grim. And today we're talking changes.
Changes.
By none other than
King Gizzard.
and the Liz Wiz. Now, this is going to be this is our big gender reveal party. Which variant did you get? Oh, yours is a black cover too. Are they the same?
I feel like blue smoke is going to come out or something.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah.
What do you know what the version of that is? Does it say on the front?
It's the After Armageddon edition.
Mine is called Purgatory White.
Ooh, wait.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So, changes.
Changes. The third of 3 albums released by King Gizzard in the month of October.
In the year of our Lord, 2022.
I feel like it's got to be some sort of record, but
no pun intended.
yeah, no pun intended. But so I will say, I think of the 3, this is definitely, I mean, not only the most unique of the 3, might be one of the most unique King Gizzard albums I've heard.
Agreed.
It just it's just very different. And yeah, I really loved it. When I put it on, like I get into a lot of their other stuff, and you can just put it on and it's fun, and it's jammy and it's flowy and everything a lot of the time. And this though was this was a departure, and I was excited to kind of have that, especially having so much material come out this month.
Yep, I agree. It was definitely something unique and different. And I told you, I think offline, that it was kind of like them dipping their toe into like sort of that neo soul kind of sound a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, definitely. Yeah, it's got the soul. It's got like this jazzy R&B vibe to it. And I think one thing, when we were talking offline, was I love it when they do something different, because they do something different, but whether it's, thrash metal or rap or something like this, but it still has their fingerprints on it. Right. Like it's still, they don't,
all the great ones leave the mark.
All the great ones. Yeah. It's the Wet Bandits, they don't stray from who they are, but they're also not afraid to try something new and kind of get into a different area. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of times, a lot of times when bands do that, they'll go too far, and it turns off, a lot of the people who are like, oh man, I like the old stuff,
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of that with some bands too.
Me too.
Like I
absolutely
100% am. But they do a nice job of kind of towing that line, I think.
Mm-hmm. Now, one thing I will say, out of the 3 that came out in October, there is a song on Ice, Lungs, Planets, Meteorites,
Mushrooms,
yes, called Ice 5, that I think Ice 5 would have also fit very nice on this record. Don't you would like the sound of Ice 5?
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, I could definitely.
Anyways, it's not on there, but yeah, this does have just sort of a different vibe altogether. But I again, like you said, I really like it. And I guess Stu McKenzie said that it was all based on like a melody, which was turned into a song cycle. That's kind of all based on this one thing. And it's like variations on a theme, more or less, which is interesting because all the tracks are still a little different. But I guess they started working on this in 2017.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the 5th album that was released that year. And yeah, and Stu just basically said, like, man, it just trying.
Wasn't there.
We were trying. It just wasn't happening. And so they waited a couple years, and now it's the 5th album this year.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's interesting because I think one of the songs they specifically mentioned is Exploding Suns. I think they said that Exploding Suns, the version that's on there, is the actual cut from
2017.
Yeah.
So So that one was good.
Which
but
is
it's interesting
cool because I wouldn't have known that. Listen, it's not like it sounds drastically different than the rest of it.
No. Well, it's interesting because they were basically saying, the first song, the first track, Change, which is the opening track, and it's like 13 minutes.
Everything.
Each song
yeah.
is it just kind of like branches down from that. Like that's I love how creative they are with just all the things that they do, whether it's like, hey, we're gonna have albums flow into each other. We're gonna have an album, repeat and just be
forever,
nodding on in infinity, right? And okay, we're gonna do microtonal stuff, and then we're gonna do something like this, where it's like, okay, we're gonna have this long song, and each thing is like a branch off of that song, sort of.
Yeah,
like it's. I've just never heard of a band do such creative stuff before and have it actually be good.
True. Yeah. I mean, this is what, 23? That's so great.
23rd album.
23rd. Yeah.
23rd.
I will say at this point, I officially have more vinyl records of them than anybody else. Any other band.
Even the Beatles?
Even the Beatles.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm close. Man, I'm now that I just got 3 came yesterday.
Yeah.
So
that kind of tipped the scale a little bit.
It did a little bit. Yeah, I have to go through and count, but it's got to be pretty close between them and the Beatles, I imagine.
Yeah. And I think the only reason that it took me so long is because I had a lot of like, I don't know, put it this way, I had enough Beatles records where some of them live in the land of misfit toys. Like there's just some weird ones that are like odd collections of early tracks that I'm like, I don't know why I have this, because I have whatever records these were originally on.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Scratch Perry sessions for early Bob Marley.
Yeah.
There's a million different records that all just kind of cycle through the same like 20 or 30 songs.
Right.
Sort of thing.
Yeah. A lot of different versions. So, well, yeah, I think, if this is the last album that we get of King Gizzard in 2022, I think it's a good way to go out.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they, just threw us a little surprise or something at the end of the year. But
yeah. Like
if they don't, I can't say I'm going to be like disappointed.
Yeah.
Because I got plenty of stuff to still like listen to and just do deeper dives, man. It's just, it's there's a lot of content there. So yeah, if people haven't checked these out, I would definitely check out. I mean, I've enjoyed everything they've put out this year.
Yeah.
It's
good. Great year for them.
Dude, they've done some interesting work. I mean, I think this year's got the variety that they've put out is just.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah. I mean, just all the different styles and things that they've done. So
now I got to ask you, do you have a favorite? Cut and why?
I don't know.
You gotta have an opinion.
I don't know. I was thinking about this actually, and I mean, I think I kind of do have to go with Change.
Oh, okay.
Because that's where all the other songs kind of come from.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So, but yeah. What about you?
Dude, I gotta go with AstroTurf, man.
AstroTurf.
Killer
on the knees. Killed a lot of careers.
Yeah.
Killed a lot of careers. But
not King.
But still,
not theirs.
No, not theirs.
But I just there's something about that the way that horn just bumps. It has such a nice chopped up rhythm because of that, which I really enjoyed hearing that. It was just one of those things where you're like, I didn't see this coming, but I like it.
Yeah. I know what you're doing right now, and I like it.
And I do like it. One thing that I want to comment on, and this is a real nerd thing to comment on, but normally in a lot of their older albums, they would just say like whomever played keyboards. Mm-hmm. But with this one, they specifically call out the Wurlitzer, which I'm wondering and the Farfisa and the Mellotron. Like, I'm wondering if they, because of some of their popularity, if they were kind of like, hey, we're gonna get some of the old school vintage gear and kind of
we're doing the real stuff.
Yeah.
Real stuff. It's possible.
Vibraphone. I mean, but yeah, dude, that's.
We'll have to ask Stu when he comes over later.
Well, because it was funny when I listened to this, there were a couple tracks that you could very specifically hear a Wurlitzer on, but it sounded good enough where I'm like, that could just be, because I know that on live, I want to say they're using like a Nord Electro or a Nord Stage, which those samples are probably about as good as you can get for sampled versions of that piano.
Sure.
So I wondered if they just did a good job, kind of getting that sound just right with the samples. But then when I saw that they actually used the real deal, that's kind of sweet.
Real deal, Vander Holyfield.
Yep.
So, all right, Graham, I think that might wrap up our third King Gizzard first impression of the month.
Yeah, dude, it's funny. Not only have they dominated our vinyl collections, apparently, but I would also say that they have dominated our episodes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hope if you've never listened to King Gizzard and this is the first time you're checking out our podcast,
but there's still time.
Sorry, not sorry.
There's still time.
Yeah. Like there's plenty of time, and we will be doing at some point in the near future where you should start.
I was going to ask you about that,
and let's save that for an episode.
Yeah, because that would be such a good one. There's
yes. So I think that's gonna have to happen.
Because I would like run out of arms.
Not gonna work here. Yeah. So if you guys would like to see an episode like that, definitely let us know below.
Yeah, right after you
like, subscribe, and comment below. All right. So I think it's time to go, Graham. Time to go.
On the Dude Grim
Show.
Scratch and Drag is produced by the Dude Grim. Additional music provided by More. That's ... MORE and the Tims TIMNZ. Copyright 2020 to the Dude and Grim Show.